Welcome in, Adam here with Alesis Drums, and in this video, I'll walk you through everything you need to know to get your ARC hi-hats dialed in. The ARC hi-hats are included with all of the Strata series drum sets, including the Prime, the Core, and the Club. While the sizes of the hi-hats vary between these models, the technology and the setup process is the same across the entire Strata line. Before we start, it should be noted that the hi-hat is by far the most complex component of any electronic drum set. Traditional acoustic hi-hats are so dynamic and versatile that digitizing this part of our instrument can come with a lot of challenges. If you've ever experienced hi-hat problems on an E-kit, you aren't alone. In today's video, we'll discuss how to properly set up and troubleshoot the ARC hi-hats, covering the best practices to ensure that your hats perform flawlessly every time you sit down to play. Let's start out with our hi-hat stand. Virtually any hi-hat stand on the market will work with the ARC hi-hats, but we first want to take a look at the hi-hat basket. The basket is designed for a metal hi-hat bottom cymbal, but in our case, we're instead placing a magnetic hi-hat controller here, which looks like this. Now, it's vital that when you place your hi-hat controller on the basket, you have some kind of soft buffer here. We don't want plastic on plastic, metal on plastic, or metal on metal. The friction between these hard surfaces will cause damage over time, just like a cymbal that's been keyholed by a stand that didn't have a cymbal sleeve. Once a felt or a rubber washer is on your hi-hat basket, you can now slide your hi-hat controller over the pull rod and let it rest on the basket. Make sure that you have the controller oriented correctly with the spring-loaded piston facing the ceiling. Many hi-hat stands will also include a tilter, which you can see here. Tilters are designed for acoustic metal hi-hats, and they enable you to create an angle on your bottom hat. However, the ARC hi-hats have no bottom cymbal, which means we don't need any tilting at all. In fact, leaving your tilter engaged will cause the magnetic controller to be unstable and potentially less responsive. So make sure that the tilter is unscrewed and your controller is sitting level on the basket. Now we're ready to install our clutch onto the ARC hi-hat cymbal. While you may be tempted to use the stock clutch that came with your hi-hat stand, it's likely that it won't be long enough to fit. The ARC hi-hats, no matter the diameter, are going to be much thicker than any metal cymbal. For this reason, Alesis includes a clutch with every ARC hi-hat, which has much longer threads that you can see here when compared to a standard clutch. So using our longer clutch, we'll now install it onto our ARC hi-hats, making sure that there's a felt on the top and bottom of the hats. Now, on acoustic hi-hats, it's very common to leave a little bit of wiggle room here and avoid tightening down the clutch all the way. Over-tightening the clutch on traditional hi-hats can actually mute the cymbal, and it can make them feel a little bit too rigid when you play them. But with electronic hats, we want our clutch to be very snug, with almost no wiggle room at all. Remember, we're using these components to send digital signals to a module, so we want those signals to be as clean as possible. This is best achieved when our physical components don't move around freely, so keep that clutch as snug as you feel comfortable with. Now we can drop our hi-hat and clutch over the pull rod and let them rest freely on the hi-hat controller. Now let's head to the module and we'll calibrate our hi-hats. Hi-hat calibration can be found in the trigger menu of both the Prime and the Core modules. Open the trigger menu from the home screen and press Hi-Hat Setup in the top right-hand corner. From here, you'll be prompted to let your hi-hat rest freely on the controller with your clutch open. Just make sure that your foot is off the pedal and press Set. Next, we'll set our clutch position. We can calibrate our hi-hat to virtually any position, but don't set it so high that you create a gap between the hi-hat and the controller's position as seen here. As long as the controller's piston is in contact with the bottom of the hi-hats, you'll be in good shape, and the actual height will come down to personal preference. Once your clutch height is set, press Finish to complete the calibration. Now, if your hat still needs some fine-tuning, we can dial them in with the 5th knob on the home screen, and this corresponds to the position of the bottom hi-hat sensor. When using this knob, you might find it helpful to play a continuous hi-hat pattern with your right hand and slowly rotate this knob with your left, kind of like sweeping an EQ to find the right setting. And that's it. Thanks so much for watching this tutorial, guys, and I hope your ARC hi-hats are playing better than ever. Adam here with Alesis Drums, and I will see you in the next one.